I'm just reheating our break. And we're back to a new Crash Bandicoot N.SANE Trilogy stream. Yeah. If y'all didn't see the last stream, definitely go and check it out. Which, yeah, it was with on Spyro 2. Yeah, on Spyro 2.
Ooga is free? No, it cannot be. Evil, great evil has come.
So yeah, how's everybody today?
None dares fail the great Ooga even once. But you, Cortex, you have failed me twice. Great Ooga. It was that infernal bandicoot. From deep inside my deadly prison, I sent you simple instructions to follow. But you lost the gems, you lost the crystals, and I have lost my patience. There is now no other power source left on this planet. I know we've had a few unfortunate setbacks. And failed. But since your fumbling has managed to set me free, I am feeling generous. There is still a way to amass the power needed to enslave this miserable planet. And this time, the great Ooga will make sure that you do it right.
Yeah, I'm doing very good. Hopefully everybody is as well.
Brother Ooga has been freed from his underground prison. Long ago, I locked him there to protect the world from his malice. Now, free once again, he must be stopped.
And yes, we have finished my walkthrough on Ratchet & Clank Full Front Assault. And it wasn't my favorite, I would say. I mean, I like the concept. I like what the concept they thought of. Yeah, I like the concept. I'll give it that. The concept I really did like for the game. I definitely did like the whole concept.
Crash. Why must you always muck in my mud? Oh, look! I have a mask helping me, too. We will find out which one is more powerful soon enough.
Which, yeah, tomorrow we'll be beginning my walkthrough on Ratchet & Clank Into the Nexus. Yeah, we'll be beginning my walkthrough on it. Which, yeah, Ratchet & Clank Quest for Booty, and also, you know, the full frontal assault. They both of those Let's Plays, both had 5 parts. It only took 5 parts to beat both of those games. Yeah, definitely some of the shortest Let's Plays that I've done, though, for sure. Most definitely. Some of the shortest Let's Plays I have done, most definitely. And it's crazy that we're entering the last week of April, though. That is definitely hard to believe, too. Like, May 2026 is literally almost here. Literally. Yeah, literally. It is almost here. Like, we're almost in May. Before you know it, we're going to be in summer. Right? Into summer of 2026. That's going to be even crazier. That is going to be absolutely even more crazier to think. I mean, this upcoming Thursday, on the 30th, will be the last day of April of 2026. So that means Friday will be May 1st. Hard to believe that. Or crazy to believe that. I definitely will say for sure. Most definitely crazy. Like, this year's got to slow down. That's all I'm just saying. This year has to slow down a bit. That's all I'm saying. This year really does have to, really needs to slow down a bit. Like, it's going a bit too fast. Yeah, it's going a bit too fast here. Yeah, it just definitely does need to... Definitely needs to just slow down a bit. This year does. It most definitely does need to try to slow down a bit. Can I just say? My least favorite cartoon episodes, which I do have quite a bit. Yeah, I do have quite a bit of my least favorite cartoon episodes, I will say. It really just depends also on what cartoon exactly. Right, what cartoon specifically. Like, it could be SpongeBob, it could be, you know, Hey Arnold, it could be any kind of show, to be honest. I mean, there's loads of shows that, yeah, definitely do have their not-so-good points. We can all say. Right. That's all I can just say, though. Now, obviously, for Hey Arnold, I do have a few episodes that I really did not like in Hey Arnold. And yeah, Hey Arnold was a pretty good show, I would say. Hey Arnold was definitely a pretty good show, but I would probably say one of my absolute least favorites, and this is also part of the Community as well, one of the Community's least favorites, and that's of course Arnold Betrays Iggy. Yeah. Yeah, that episode is absolute garbage, and a lot of other people would agree as well. And that's really one of some of the few times that I actually agreed when I used to watch the mysterious Mr. Enter. Which, yeah, I am still subscribed to him. You know, just for the support. Just to subscribe for the support, right? Of the support of his channel. I don't hardly watch him nowadays, of course. But I still am subscribed to him just for the support. I mean, I have that for a lot of different people. I'm still subscribed to, but I may not really watch as much anymore. But yeah, Arnold Betrays Iggy was absolute horrendous, I would definitely say. And again, you would see a lot of different people just doing rants about Arnold Betrays Iggy. Yeah, when it comes to Hey Arnold, that one's definitely up there on my least favorite. When it comes to the Looney Tunes show, I would probably definitely say is The Float from season 1. Yeah, The Float. Excuse me. Excuse me. I swear, these just come out of nowhere, though. But yeah, The Float from season 1 of the Looney Tunes show will most definitely remain of my least favorite. I mean, yeah, I also love the Looney Tunes show. It's another really good show. But I would definitely say The Float is definitely one of my least favorites, though. Or my least favorite. Because, especially when it comes to Daffy, that just really shows Daffy at his absolute worst. Which, yeah, Daffy can definitely be a person that really does not care about anybody but himself in this show. But especially when it comes to poor Porky. Yeah. Which, of course, Porky already gets treated horribly in the show. Right? Like, he does get treated very undeservedly in this show. But this episode, for sure, right? Like, Daffy literally lying to Porky, saying that he needs $375,000 for a kidney transplant. But he's only taking Porky's money just to buy a yacht. A boat, you know. A boat, a yacht. Yeah, literally taking all of Porky's money that he can't pay his bills or anything. And yeah, of course, he doesn't have regret or anything. I mean, there's people like that in this world. I hate to say that. I mean, thankfully I don't know anybody in particular, but this world is filled with different people like that, though. Yeah, this world that we do live in is filled with people that would be like that, so that's all I can just say. And people would do things that they would not regret. Not even on their face look like they regret. I mean, if you look at Elizabeth Fritzl's father, right, Joseph Fritzl, which, yeah, just to look on his face, it's like he had no regret when it came to locking up his daughter for 24 years and making her give birth to 7 kids. Like, yeah, he definitely does not show regret in his face, though, in his eyes, for what he did. And again, there's just lots of different things where people would do stuff that they, just from the look on their faces, right? Just the look on their faces, like, yeah, they don't regret it. They don't feel bad for what they did. They're not sorry. And yeah, Daffy is definitely, when it comes to that episode in particular, right? Like, he does not even apologize. Even when Daffy, or Bugs, paid for his kidney transplant, and also when Porky actually gave Daffy one of his kidneys as well, and he's like, oh, here we go. How many times are you going to throw it at me? You know, just getting angry when Porky is like, can I take a break? Because, again, he just had one of his kidneys taken out and given to Daffy. And he's like, I'm still not 100% since the surgery. And he's like, oh, here we go. How many times are you going to throw it at me? Like, still. Sometimes I just don't know why Daffy, or Porky, still hangs around with Daffy. Especially in the Looney Tunes show. Yeah. And of course, I can name multiple episodes on SpongeBob, of course. Like A Pal for Gary, One Course Meal, Quarantine Crab, Pet Sitter Pat, Demolition Doofus, The Splinter. Again, I could just name loads of episodes from SpongeBob that are very infamous. Little Yellow Book, Squid Baby, SpongeBob You're Fired, Whatever Happened to SpongeBob. Again, like I said, I can just go on when it comes to episodes from SpongeBob. Because there are countless episodes from SpongeBob. I mean, yeah, there's even some in The Simpsons that I really didn't like. Yeah. There's episodes, even on The Simpsons, that I really did not like at all. Which I can't remember one of them, what one of them is called. I'll have to look it up right quick after this level. But there is one in particular that I really do not like. And it comes from the early seasons as well. The early seasons. Like season 6, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, again, still one of the early seasons of The Simpsons. Yeah, let me see what the episode was called, because let me remember what episode it was called. Here, yeah, let me pause it right quick. Let me just see. Again, I know it was from season 6. It was called... I'm pretty sure it was season 6. No, I think it was season 7. Again, still in the early seasons. Yeah, it was season 7. It was season 7, episode 3. Home Sweet Home Diddly Doodly. You know, where Bart, Maggie, and Lisa got into custody of Maude and Ned Flanders after these ridiculous people, you know, thinking that they are bad, Marge and Homer are bad parents, you know, just from a whole, you know, just for, if you've seen the episode. Yeah, I just really did not like that episode. But Again, there are quite a bit in that one that I don't like at all. And of course, The Loud House also had some bad episodes, like A Brawl in the Family, No Such Luck, which again, there's not such thing as that. I don't believe in stuff like that. But yeah, that was a horrible episode as well. One of the boys. Again, there is definitely some... I mean, yeah, every show is definitely going to have, you know, a bad episode here and there, right? Of course. I mean, heck, there's some in Gumball and regular show that I didn't really like all that much. I can't really say for sure about Phineas and Ferb or Milo Murphy's Law. Yeah, I really can't say for sure when it comes to those shows. But, like I said, there's definitely going to be shows here and there that will have pretty bad episodes. Another one that I can think of on the Looney Tunes show, where Daffy gets upset, you know, gets angry, and nearly ruins his friendship with Porky when it came to Porky eating the French fries that were they were saying it was for the table, which it turned out it was for the table when they were eating at Speedy's Pizzeria, right? If you remember that episode. Daffy getting upset all over nothing, right? I mean, all just because, all for French fries, right? Yeah, that was definitely another one I really didn't like when it, obviously, yeah, it's not the worst thing that Daffy did, but it's definitely up there. I would say the whole thing from the float episode is the worst thing that Daffy did, at least has done on the show, at least to me. Right? Like, literally lying to your friend first of all, but also lying about needing money because you're sick, just to take all of his life savings and stuff, and his engraved family watch, gold watch from his great-grandfather, and taking his debit card as well, that Porky says that's the money he lives on too, just to buy a yacht that he doesn't even need in the first place. And, you know, in the first place, it's not even, you know, his money, of course. It's Porky's money that Daffy took. And two, obviously he doesn't need the boat, because obviously he does not know how to sail either, as he said in the episode. So yeah. The whole French fries thing that Daffy did, it's not the worst thing that he did, but it's up there. You know, him just getting angry with, and, you know, blaming, just not being good to Porky when it came to, just because, yeah, even though it wasn't just Daffy's French fries, it was all of theirs, because Speedy gave it to them for the table, you know, compliments on the house. Compliments on the house, as he says, you know, for the table. Just for everybody to share. And of course, Daffy had to, you know, get old like he did, and nearly destroyed his friendship with Porky. Which, again, Just makes you wonder, how does Porky even still stand to be Daffy's friend, though? Like, that's what I want to know. That is seriously what I want to know for sure. And especially for Tina, though. Like, Daffy better be lucky that Tina, which I love Tina's character in the regular show. I really do. She's a really good character. And Daffy better just be lucky that she puts up, just how good she puts up with him, though. I mean, yeah. She puts up with a lot of his stuff that he does. Especially when he had that whole bake job. And he tells Tina, oh, I get it, you're jealous. And talking about his perfect bake and literally calling hers a giant nightmare. Like, he had a perfect bake. He's got a perfect bake, and she's got a giant nightmare. Which, yeah, of course he gets punched for it as well. Like, punched in the face. Definitely very much justified. Like, definitely. It was most definitely justified, for sure. All that I can just say. Yeah. Definitely still love the Looney Tunes show. But, yeah, Daffy can definitely just be a lot, I can just say. And some of the things, yeah, you can't help but... Yeah, sometimes feel bad, but most of the times, some of the stuff that he definitely deserves some consequence for what he did. That is not alright. Like, again, Porky's taking all of Porky's money to buy a yacht that he does not need. And getting angry with Porky for eating French fries that was not just Daffy's. They're for all of them. Yeah, Daffy is still, and always still be, one of my favorite Looney Tune characters. Not just Looney Tunes show characters, but especially when it comes to the original Looney Tunes as well. That's just what I'm saying. Daffy definitely better be lucky as well that he's even got friends to begin with, right? Daffy better be lucky that he's got friends that he's got, because I don't really think if people were to be like what Daffy is on the Looney Tunes show and the stuff that he does, that he did and does, I feel like probably not a whole lot of people would not want to be your friend for the stuff like that, right? Especially the stuff that he does to Porky. So yeah, Daffy better be lucky he does have friends like Porky and Daffy, and even a girlfriend too. He's better be lucky as well for that, especially since he's got no job or anything like that too. Yeah. Like, Daffy has to be very lucky that he's got people that actually put up with him. For sure. And yeah, even though Daffy did actually get picked on by Porky in high school, though, in that reunion episode.
During the Ice Ages. So give me the goods and shove off, or I'll roast you.
Porky still doesn't deserve the stuff that he gets, though. By Daffy. That is for sure. Because again, Porky did say, you know, when Daffy was saying, I didn't peak in high school, and just telling everybody that they did, and especially Porky. And he's like, Daffy, I apologized about 1,000 times. See, he apologized, right? Porky apologized for what he did. So that is something you can accept, right? But, yeah, Daffy, though, yeah, he definitely would not be able to apologize, that's for sure. That is for sure. I could never be able to hold that first boost, though, at the start. I just could not be able to. It's just so hard to be able to hold that boost. Go ahead and do midnight run, just so we can get the relic as well. Since really all we can get in Tomb Time for right now is, of course, the crystal. And of course that would happen too. Where I end up going onto a crate, but it does not break. Like, that's very weird, I can just say. Very, very weird. And again, I know I did tell some of y'all, and of course y'all seen the post also, but what do y'all think of Rabbit's design on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3? What do y'all think of it? I find it really interesting. Yeah, I find it pretty interesting. Rabbit's design. Definitely really interesting design choice for Rabbit. And again, same thing goes for Tigger and Pooh as well. Which I'm still curious of what the Woozles, I think it's the Woozles, I always say Weasels. I think it's Woozles, you know, how it's pronounced. The Woozles and Heffalumps. I'm still curious of what they're gonna look like. Because, you know, they have told us that, yeah, they'll be in the movie as well. So yeah, I am very quite curious of what they're gonna look like. Very, very interested. Yeah, we can go ahead and do Tomb Time. So I'm guessing Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3 is now filming. Like, they're now filming the third movie. I'm guessing. Like, I'm saying I'm guessing because there's some people that I've seen saying that it is, like, now in production. Like, it's now in the filming. Like, again, that's why I say I'm guessing it's now filming. They're now filming the movie. And it is, this isn't obviously confirmed, but there is a somewhat expected kind of release date for the third movie, which is 2026. But I most likely see it next year, personally. I most likely see it next year in 2027, being the year for Winnie the Pooh 3. Because, again, if you think about it, we're obviously getting Pinocchio Unstrung this year. I mean, they did have a private showing at that convention, that festival, if y'all remember. Because I also talked about of how there were reports saying that someone actually passed out, right? The director of the movie said that someone actually passed out during the private showing of the movie.
Right. Now you've gone and done it. Them crystals are mine.
So yeah, we do know that Pinocchio Unstrung is going to be sometime this year. At least that's the plan. That is their plan, from what I've seen, for 2026. I mean, yeah, it's already been 2 years since Winnie the Pooh 2, Blood and Honey 2 came out, back in 2024. How many relics do we got? 5. But yeah, it's already been past 2 years. Crazy to believe that. And again, now that the third one is now coming. And of course, do remember also about the whole Monsters Assemble, right? The Poohniverse. The Poohniverse movie, Monsters Assemble. That is also coming out. Most likely next year. I feel it's probably going to be sometime next year after Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. That's what I personally think. Once we finally have... Once Pinocchio Unstrung finally releases and Blood and Honey 3 releases, I'm pretty sure that's when we'll be getting, of course, Monsters Assemble. That's what I feel. Because again, we already got the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. We already got the second one. We already got Bambi the Reckoning. We already got Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare as well. So... we just basically have to wait for these... We have to wait for these 2 movies to come out, I would assume, before Monsters Assemble releases. And again, I've seen every installment. I've seen every installment, every movie, part of the Twisted Childhood character franchise universe that it is also known as. I've seen, and of course, obviously the Poohniverse. Both Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies I've watched. Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare I watched. Bambi the Reckoning I've of course watched as well. So, I mean, I could probably say, out of the ones so far that I've seen a lot more of, is probably Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 that I've watched countless times. Like, I rewatched countless times. I mean, here and there I probably did the first one as well, just to look back of how horrible the first movie was. Which, yeah, we can agree. The first movie was pretty garbage. Especially the very low budget that they had for the first movie. But the second movie, a lot better. And I'm really hoping that the third movie will also be good as well. I'm definitely hoping the third movie is going to be good. Because I definitely really did love the second movie of Winnie the Pooh. Blood and Honey. So I'm definitely hoping the third movie will definitely provide. I am guaranteeing you, I am pretty sure, I am very positive that Pinocchio Unstrung will be really good as well. I mean, just from the trailer as well. Which, again, I've watched countless times, too. I have watched it countless times, too. And, yeah, it definitely looks really good. What they did with Pinocchio as well, which is not CGI. It's actually not CGI. Which, yeah, Jiminy Cricket, obviously. Right, Jiminy Cricket is obviously CGI. But not Pinocchio. I've actually seen some behind-the-scenes type stuff of them actually, how Pinocchio is actually going to work in this movie. And it's quite impressive, I would say. It is quite impressive. And again, basically, Pinocchio having Freddy Krueger as his conscience, right? Freddy Krueger, pretty much Pinocchio's conscience in this movie, since it's obviously Freddy Krueger's voice actor. That is Jiminy Cricket. And also, who is Anti-Pops on regular show as well. And of course, on countless other things too. But yeah, just think that though. Pinocchio having someone like Freddy Krueger, which pretty much is, or just looking at Jiminy Cricket's design, right? You could just tell that it's definitely inspired by Freddy Krueger because of his nails, right? Of the long, sharp nails that Jiminy Cricket has from the trailer. Which, yeah, you could definitely tell is very inspiring from Freddy Krueger himself. I mean, it makes sense, though, since obviously it is the guy who played Freddy Krueger to begin with. So it makes sense that his nails would be very long, just like him. It only makes sense. And I do like the voice of Pinocchio, though. I do like the voice of Pinocchio. The design of Pinocchio and the voice of Pinocchio on Unstrung. I really am liking. And again, this will most definitely be one of the best ones in this universe, I would say. I mean, just from also the audience reaction, which I hear, and I have mentioned before, that the director of these movies have actually mentioned that the audience reaction was very good when it came to the private showing of this movie. So yeah. We are most definitely in for a treat. In for a ride, I would definitely say. Most definitely. obviously, of course, I would not have any idea of when we could actually expect a trailer, like first official trailer for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 3. Like, would it be this year? I mean, we are almost in May, right? The 5th month of 2026. And again, just from some things that I have seen, that it has actually suggest that, yeah, they have began development, or they have began filming of the movie. Which again, it was scheduled for early 2026, which, yeah, we are still slightly still early in 2026, right? April is still pretty early, I would say. Only being the fourth month of the year, so yeah, we're still early of 2026. So they weren't wrong about that, about early 2026. They definitely weren't wrong about that. That's for sure. Not wrong about that for sure. These crates are always something, though. These ones... There you go. I mean, yeah, the end of Bambi the Reckoning actually made me a bit emotional, I would say. Yeah, it actually made me a bit emotional seeing the death of Bambi. And seeing Bambi's kid just trying to get Bambi up after Bambi got shot. Like, yeah, that actually made me pretty emotional, I would say. Actually made me pretty emotional. I mean, the same thing can go for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey too, where Christopher Robin, you know, used the axe and chopped onto Winnie the Pooh's head. Which, obviously, Winnie the Pooh is none other than Billy, which is Christopher Robin's brother, right? That we have learned. Pooh, Tigger, and the others are basically human kids that were experimented on. Yeah, that were kidnapped and experimented on. And the experiments caused them to be half human, half animal. Again, definitely gives me a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's kind of movie vibes as well, because it has a similar kind of thing, I would say, when it comes to the movies, where the kids, yeah, obviously the animatronics are basically children inside the animatronics that were killed by William Afton, right? Murdered by William Afton, and the kids' bodies are inside of, like, Freddy, Chucky, and all of the others. So yeah, definitely definitely has pretty similar vibes to it, right? Human kids being inside either animatronics or animal bodies, right? Half human, half animal type creatures. Now, of course, obviously, like I said, Christopher Robin's brother, Billy, which is, of course, at the end of, and also on Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2, it's revealed that his brother is, of course, Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, Christopher Robin's brother is none other than Winnie the Pooh. And, of course, the other children, the other kids that were experimented on after being kidnapped is the other creatures, like Owl, Tigger, Piglet, Rabbit. We can even say Rabbit as well. And most likely the Woozles and the Heffalumps. Yeah, all of the other 100-Acre Wood creatures. And who even knows about Eeyore? Even though Eeyore was eaten, right? Eeyore was eaten in the first Winnie the Pooh movie. Who knows about him? Right? Like, what about Eeyore? It makes you wonder that, though. Since all the other 100-Acre Wood characters were human kids before they were experimented on and turned into half-human, half-animal type hybrids. It just makes you wonder about poor Eeyore. Which, yeah, I can guarantee you there's probably no guarantee that he is not returning, right? I don't see Eeyore returning in this franchise, obviously, since, you know, he got killed off in the beginning of the first movie. So, yeah, I don't see him coming back. I mean, there were people talking about what if Eeyore comes back. I mean, they could do something like that, right? Obviously, he would be like a zombie type creature. I mean, obviously, Bambi was mutated, right? In Bambi the Reckoning, Bambi was a mutated deer. A mutated deer that got mixed in with all these different toxic chemicals and stuff. That they've pretty much explained in the movie. I mean, yeah, it's pretty much some kind of chemical type thing that... And also, it's really cool that we also saw Thumper, right? You know, the bunny? Thumper. We actually saw Thumper. It was really cool to actually see Thumper in this movie. I wasn't really actually expecting to see any other of the Bambi characters, besides, obviously, Bambi. But it was really cool to see Thumper. Which, I can only assume that was Thumper, obviously. I could only assume it was Thumper. I mean, it was a rabbit, right? It was a mutated, like, rabbit. So, I can only say, yeah, it had to be Thumper. Because really, there's no other Bambi character that is a rabbit besides Thumper. So yeah, I can just definitely say that definitely had to be Thumper. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get this checkpoint. Go ahead and get that checkpoint. Because, you know, something would accidentally happen if I don't have a checkpoint, then we're going to have to re-get those crates again. And that just won't be good. Would not be good at all. Same thing. Get the checkpoint. See, that's why we got the checkpoint. You see? That is why we got the checkpoint, in case something like that happened. In case something like that happened, we have a checkpoint. Go ahead and get the checkpoint there too. Because you can know very well that we are going to need it. We are most certainly going to need that checkpoint. Just got these ones. And that checkpoint as well. There we go. There you go. Hot cocoa done. Yeah, I think that's what will conclude this stream here. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you like and subscribe to the channel, make sure you have all notifications turned on so you miss anything new. Make sure you know everything. Until next one.